Join me as I dive into the world of heart palpitations and see if I can figure out whether there's something to really worry about. So, what are heart palpitations exactly? Well, they're feelings of having a racing, pounding, or fluttering heartbeat. It's as if your heart is skipping beats or beating irregularly. Many people experience heart palpitations from time to time, and they can be a bit unsettling, to say the least. The thing is, heart palpitations are really common. In fact, most people will experience them at some point in their lives. And yet, despite their prevalence, heart palpitations often leave people feeling anxious or concerned. After all, it's natural to wonder if there's something wrong with your heart when you're experiencing unusual sensations in your chest. The good news is that, in many cases, heart palpitations are completely harmless. They might be triggered by something as simple as too much caffeine or stress. But, of course, that doesn't always make them feel any less alarming. So, let's take a closer look at what might be behind those pesky palpitations and whether they're really something to worry about. There are a lot of misconceptions out there about heart palpitations. Some people think that if they're experiencing palpitations, they must be on the verge of a heart attack. Others believe that palpitations are always a sign of an underlying heart condition. But the truth is that heart palpitations can have a range of causes, and most of them aren't life-threatening. One common fear people have is that heart palpitations are a sign of a heart attack or cardiac arrest. And it's understandable why people might think that. After all, heart palpitations can feel like your heart is pounding in your chest or skipping beats. But the vast majority of the time, heart palpitations are not a sign of a heart attack. Another misconception is that heart palpitations are always a sign of a serious underlying condition. But the reality is that many people experience heart palpitations due to totally benign factors. For example, caffeine, nicotine, and other stimulants can trigger palpitations. Dehydration, anxiety, and stress can also cause them. In some cases, heart palpitations can be a sign of an underlying medical condition. For example, people with hyperthyroidism, which is an overactive thyroid gland, may experience heart palpitations. Similarly, people with low blood pressure, anemia, or certain heart conditions may also experience palpitations. It's also worth noting that certain medications can trigger heart palpitations. For example, decongestants, asthma medications, and certain antidepressants have all been known to cause palpitations. And, of course, there are also lifestyle factors that can contribute to palpitations, such as a diet high in caffeine and sugar. But even when heart palpitations are caused by an underlying condition, they're often still not a reason to panic. Many heart conditions can be successfully treated, and palpitations can be managed with lifestyle changes, medication, or other interventions. So, what are some of the common signs that heart palpitations might be a cause for concern? Well, if you're experiencing palpitations along with other symptoms like chest pain, dizziness, or shortness of breath, it's definitely worth talking to your doctor. Similarly, if you have a history of heart disease or other underlying medical conditions, it's always a good idea to get your palpitations checked out. According to the American Heart Association, if you're experiencing heart palpitations along with other symptoms like fainting, dizziness, or shortness of breath, you should seek medical attention right away. Additionally, if you have a history of heart disease, heart failure, or other underlying medical conditions, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor about your palpitations. In terms of when heart palpitations might be a sign of something more serious, there are a few key signs to watch out for. For example, if your palpitations are accompanied by other symptoms like chest pain, dizziness, or shortness of breath, it's definitely worth getting them checked out. Similarly, if you have a history of heart disease or other underlying medical conditions, it's always a good idea to get your palpitations evaluated. It's also worth noting that if you're experiencing palpitations that are really severe, frequent, or persistent, it's a good idea to talk to your doctor. They can help you determine the underlying cause and develop a plan to manage your symptoms. In most cases, heart palpitations are not a reason to panic. They're often just a harmless anomaly that will resolve on their own. But, of course, it's always better to be safe than sorry. If you're experiencing palpitations that are concerning you, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. So, to summarize, while heart palpitations can be alarming, they're often not a reason to worry. By understanding what might be behind them and when to seek medical attention, you can rest easy knowing that your heart is probably just fine. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you've experienced heart palpitations yourself, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more about heart health, if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and click on the bell for more health tips and updates.